everybody. Welcome back to Cat Every Day. All right, it is Thursday, and yesterday was a high carb day for me. Right now, I am carb cycling, so that means on the days that I work out more, like the days that I do some strength training in addition to my walks, I'm going to add in a higher carb amount into my diet. And then the days that I don't add in the strength training and I just rely on walking for my exercise that day, then I am going to have a lower carb day. I want to say a low carb day, but sometimes when I add it in, I'm surprised at just how many carbs that is. Okay, so I'm trying to keep my carbs on low carb days at 50 or under, and then on the high carb days I'm still trying to zero it in. Sometimes on the low carb days I go over, and I don't really like that, but sometimes I feel like I can't help it because I'm hungry, right? And it just adds up. There's carbs in like everything and so it does add up. And one thing, in case you're wondering, I have noticed is that the Weight Watchers app is counting total carbs when they add up my carbs. I thought it was net carbs, but this morning I took a look at it and I'm like, oh, those are total carbs. Okay, that's great. So because my carbs, this is low carb day, and it added up to a little bit more, and I'm like, oh, they're counting total. Okay, well then that's great. Then I don't have to break it down and do that myself. Now, I think it's going to take a few weeks to work out how many carbs I really need on my high carb days, because the exercise on any day is going to vary. And I think when you do that, based on the amount of exercise you have, your intake of needed calories is going to be different. Your requirement is going to be different on different days. So it's going to take a while till I zero in what's going to work for me. So I'm going to show you some other little snippets and highlights of my day, but then I'm going to show you what I ate yesterday on a high carb day, and then I will give you the total in points and calories and carbs and fiber and fat and protein for that day, for my high carb day. And that it looks very interesting. I wanted to talk to you about a physical challenge that I am challenging myself with. If you don't know about Run Motivators already, there's runmotivators.com, just like that. That's a website, runmotivators.com, and you can sign up for different races, virtual races, or challenge yourself on a race and then order the medal and the t-shirt, either or you can get other things. They have other things other than medals, like keychains and pendants and things like that, to help motivate yourself. And I bought this medal like 2 years ago from runmotivators.com, and it says you've been assigned this mountain to show others that it can be moved, and this is a 100-mile challenge. Now, I know that I have walked thousands of miles in 2 years. I know that, but I still don't feel like I could hang that up with the rest of my medals, nor wear this t-shirt that came with it, unless I purposely walk or run or jog 100 miles separately just to get this, designated, purposeful run and walk. Not that walking everywhere else doesn't matter, because it does. All exercise matters, but for myself, I wanted to designate, purposeful run or walk time so that I would be able to count it toward that. And it just feels to me like, for me, that is how I feel like I've earned it. So I printed out this sheet here. I actually got it from like a K-5 learning website, and it's numbers 1 through 100. And this is meant to teach a kid 1 to 100 numbers. But I printed it off and I made it into not a worksheet, but kind of like a tally sheet, so that I could keep track of my 100 miles, which I am intending on completing in the next 30 days. So every day, all the hours and the miles, hours that I walk or run or jog or climb, treadmill or, park, walking, wherever, and I'm purposefully setting aside that time to exercise to add to these hours, I'm going to scratch off that time on here, and each one is an hour. So I started it yesterday, and so far, this is where I'm at. I've been able to cross out 4 of those miles here so far, and I hope to complete this by the end of the next 30 days. I will be letting you know how that goes, and when I complete that, I will be able to wear the t-shirt and the medal, and I will be able to hang this up proudly with my other medals as well. Now they do have other 100-mile challenges. I looked for that one. They no longer sell that, but they do have other ones that are quite nice, and they have beautiful medals. So I would take a look and see if there's anything there that can help motivate you and keep you, on your achieving your goals physically. And one of the reasons why I think this is so important to challenge myself, because it's like, okay, I'm not doing this out, well, you're seeing it now because I'm putting it on video, but I'm not doing it in front of everybody else and with the group, which I think can be helpful sometimes. But the thing is that I'm kind of doing this for me. And then I feel like when I complete it, I'll be able to give more to others, right? And I think that when you do things like that, challenges that are just within you for you, it shows you and it builds that confidence and the discipline within you that shows you that you can do other things as well. And I think it spills over into, discipline in your dietary goals and in, the progress that you're making and all of that, and weight loss or fitness or whatever. I think that it spills over into other areas. So I think it's only a good thing. So anyway, I wanted to share that with you guys. I am going to be upping it. Now, yesterday it added up to, my physical exercise added up to quite a bit. And I will show you, I did not know that I was going to get this much. Now I woke up and it was a strength training day. So I did do like 45 minutes in the gym yesterday because I'm trying to go back to 3 days a week. But I didn't realize that I had got 2 badges from Fitbit, which I actually had to get a new Fitbit because my last one wasn't working as well. And so I got a new Inspire 3, and I got that all set up purposefully so that I could do this little challenge here. And that's for me, right? Something that I just needed to do for me. But anyway, I got like 2 badges. I'll show you those here, what I won. I ended up getting a 15,000 step award from my Fitbit, and then I also got a 20,000 step award from the Fitbit, which is, I guess it's called a High Tops Challenge Award. Now, it's not going to be that way every day. Yesterday was just a very busy day, but the designated purposeful miles that I walked, it was all on the treadmill yesterday when I could fit it in to get the 3 that I could mark off of here was 3 miles. And so the rest of it was just walking and doing stuff throughout the day. So that was kind of a nice surprise. I did sleep really well. But today, I think what I'm going to do is I'm able to walk or climb on the treadmill in an incline for about a half an hour and do a mile. And so if I try to do that 3 times today, I specifically try to do it after meals so I can help lower my blood sugar, then I should get 3 done per day. And that will help me to achieve my goal as far as that goes. And that's what I'm shooting for. So I'm not shooting for 20,000 miles or 20,000 steps a day. But in a way I am, because I figure if normally I get like 8 to 10,000 just living my life in a day, and which I do, then I need probably about 10 or 11 more to accomplish the 3 miles. So that puts me at just about 20,000. So anyway, My Fitbit goal used to say 10,000. I actually bumped it up to 20 just to make sure that it'll kind of help me to achieve that goal. So anyway, enough about all of that stuff. Now let's get on with the day.
So I just got back from Sam's Club and I did a bit of a splurge on myself. I hardly ever just buy myself things, but I kind of needed a few things. I've got some high-rise ankle leggings. These ones are gray and they were $14. I did get large there because normally when I buy pants that are just like 3 sizes, I'll go with like the medium. But Sam's pants, their leggings always seem to be a little small. And if they come with a t-shirt, it seems to be a little big. So I don't know if that's just their sizes that are odd or my body's just odd. But anyway, so I have to get large in the pants if I want to feel comfortable. And then I also got a new Fitbit, an Inspire 3. There it was the best price. And the last Fitbit that I had, it just stopped working. And my honey said it's probably, kind of like, what is that, planned failure, where they get it to where it's like it's manufactured to work only for a certain amount of time and then it breaks so that you'll have to buy another one. I tend to believe that. So, but anyway, I need to start counting my steps again. I'm going to start a challenge and I'll tell you more about that later. And then I got this was a real splurge. I got some new headphones. These are Beats Flex. And this was a little pricey, but I got them at Walmart. And the thing is that the microphone that I'm using to make my videos, I've heard it go in and out. I don't know if you've noticed it. It gets louder and then less loud, and I think my microphone's going out. So I need to get a new set that has a built-in microphone. So I'm going to try these, and hopefully we can get some better sound out of it that way.
Friend who told me how to cook hard-boiled eggs in the Instapot so that the shells will just come off and I don't have to struggle with them breaking and having an egg that looks like it's all torn apart. And so I'll show you. I've got a lot of eggs in here and I hope it's going to be okay because I'm putting in here more than I had the last time.
So I've got my little trivet in here. I've got a cup of water in there, and then I've got quite a bit of eggs. I think I might have 18 of them in here. And then I'm just going to close this lid and I'm going to cook them under pressure for 18 minutes. Oh, I need to get my glasses. Isn't that amazing when you get older and you need your glasses for everything? Not 18 minutes. Did I say 18 minutes? I mean 2 minutes. 2 minutes, and then I'm going to let them release for 14 minutes.
Still got it wrong. So it's 2 minutes of pressure, high pressure, and then let it release for 13 minutes. And then I'll open it up, put cool water in it to cool everything down for a while. And when it's totally cool, then I can peel them, and the peels should come right off.
All right, on this high carb day, I am having 2/3 cup of an egg white and then 1 egg, Campari tomato, and 4 of the Wassa crackers, the light rye ones. And I'm going to take probably about a teaspoon of the Skinny Girl jam. And at lunchtime, I have a spring salad with some pecans and some apples and some of this light ranch. And I made it's like a vegetable brown rice, lactose-free lasagna. And so it's a lot lower fat, and I used reduced fat mozzarella cheese in here, and hopefully, I won't get a stomachache from the lactose. I did end up making some almond milk, sugar-free chocolate pudding afterward with some of this lactose-free yogurt. And I was going to have an Atkins snack, but I realized, today is a lower fat day since I'm higher carb. So I used this here, and I am going to make a high protein, lower fat, a little sweet to end my lunch with. And it's actually very good. I also have a few little sugar-free chocolate chips in there to make it more interesting. All right, so dinner time, I am using some green beans and tomatoes. I've used up all my points, so I really have to stick with 0 point items. So I'm taking some of these diced tomatoes, like a 1/4 cup, and this premium white chicken packet here to put into I wanted it to be an omelet, but it ended up just being like a scramble or something like that, and it did the job. So I added it's mostly egg whites, and I think it's all egg whites. I did not add any eggs to this. Even though I could have, I just wanted the protein. So this is all 0 points in here, and I'm just going to make a little bit of a scramble. I'm not going to put any cheese in there or anything like that, or bacon or ham or anything like that. So I've got a ton of protein. This is it, and I'm using a low carb tortilla for 1 point. I'm going to walk afterward for half an hour. Morning, everybody. It is pretty early this morning, and I am trying to get my steps in. I've got about 10 more minutes to get my first mile in, and I had to go back to, it's a 7% incline, and I'm trying to keep it at 2.5 because I want to get it in within a half an hour, and I had to go back to walking up the hill instead of running on the flat surface because I ran a lot yesterday, and so I've got a little pain in on my right foot, so I have to be careful with that. So anyway, I'll talk to you about how many steps I got yesterday because it's kind of exciting. And I guess I took a lactate yesterday when I made my lasagna, but I guess there was too much cheese in it because it bothers me anyway, and now I have that terrible stomach ache I get when I have too much dairy, and it'll probably be here until noon-ish, because it usually takes about 24 hours to go away when that happens. Okay, so you could see I get very bothered by dairy when it's the wrong kind. I do well with sheep's cheese, so manchego's fine, goat's cheese is fine, but anytime I try, even if I take a lactate, it just seems like, sometimes it just gets me, and the pain lasts for literally like 24 hours. So anyway, I still have it right now. It is in the lower part of my gut. Hopefully that'll pass by noon today. But anyway, so what did I do yesterday? All of my food on the high carb day added up to how many points on Weight Watchers. That ended up being 29 points by the end of the day, and 29 because I ended up getting like 5 points for one thing I forgot to show was the last thing I end the day with is a rice cake, and it was caramel flavored rice cake with like a teaspoon of peanut butter on it, like 5 or 6 sugar-free chocolate chips, and then a dollop, like a tablespoon of light Cool Whip on it, and that all adds up to 5 points, believe it or not. It is good. Well, it's 4 points, I think, and then I had a cup of almond milk, so that was 5 points for my dessert, so to speak. And it's worth it to me. I have to take that carb with my progesterone. It just makes it work better when I take it with a carb. But that brought me up to 29 points, which put me over my 23 points yesterday, which was fine. Now, if I look at it in terms of calories, it's 29 points, but 1326 calories, which actually for getting like 21,000 steps yesterday and all that exercise, seems like that amount of calories is pretty low. So I think, when you do this, you have to really, it's not a one size fits all. You have to look at your life and see what is it you're doing, and, how do you need more calories? I don't want my weight loss to stall because I'm exercising too much and not getting enough calories, and that is a possibility if you keep them too low. So according to my Fitbit, I ended up burning 2,969 calories. Well, if I took in 1326, that might be okay to do every other day or so if I'm carb cycling, because maybe it won't slow down that way. I don't know. That's one of the reasons why people carb cycle, is to kind of like trick your metabolism and keep the weight loss going. So, which is one of the reasons why I'm doing this. So
The amount of carbs I had yesterday was 129. I had 93 grams of protein, which is great because I'm shooting for like 100 to 130 grams of protein a day. My fats came out to 66, and my fiber content was 41, which I think is really good for fiber. So anyway, that's what it looks like in terms of the number. And I think that, it's just kind of like a game that you have to zero in on what's going to work for you, and I'm still trying to find that right now. I will continue to take the data and see what that looks like in terms of points and calories and the whole bit, and I'll share that with you in case that helps you on your journey, or in case you have any questions. And if you do have any questions, please leave them below. I'd love to answer them. So I'm going to let you go for today, guys. Thank you for spending the day with me, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.